welcome to Flory Models Daily Show. Here we're on Friday the 19th of August 2016, and a really good week actually. Well, almost, apart from the computer issues which we'll talk about in a moment, but getting on with this, really starting to come together now. Thank you for all the feedback about the sounding of the wash and all the rest of it. To be honest, it's going to be one of those twofold things. I've had to probably slightly oversand the wings so it shows on camera, and this is the only thing I have trouble with as a content producer, if you want to call me, and various things like that, is that sometimes I have to do things that look good to you guys on camera so you can see it. So when we're talking about obviously films and that where they lighten models more than usual so they appear better on camera, it's a little bit like this riveting detail. I've had to probably go a little bit over the top just so you guys can see it. Otherwise, I'll be pointing to stuff and you're never going to see it unless it's with the naked eye. And that's what I get a lot here. People come here and they say, oh, it looks so much better in the flesh, or it looks worse in the flesh, whichever way it is. But that is the thing. It's just finding a balance between what looks good to me sat here and what looks good on film. And primary, obviously, it's got to look good on film. What it looks like in real life is slightly second. It's got to look good so you guys can see it on camera. So in some ways, I'm thinking probably overcook the riveting detail just a little bit. What I might do is just very lightly give it a blow over of a little bit of like a dark wash type thing or a filter over it just to knock it back a little bit, but generally you guys won't see it without it. But thank you for all the feedback. My plan is today is to get this thing together. As I said, I want to get the canopy changed over. I want to go through the motions of obviously getting the engine completely fitted in. There's some small parts that have come off the engine where it's been, you know, basically kicking around for the last couple of weeks. I've got to get all those reattached. Got to do some detail work for it. I've got to put some wiring in there, things like that. I've got to repaint the gun section on top because, to be honest, it got pretty much covered in overspray. So we've got to do all of those things, and then obviously we've got to tidy up and take care of the wheel wells as well and get those done because I want to get those put in there. The other thing as well is what weapon fit do we want to go with. I'm really drawn to leaving it somewhat as it is in the sort of fighter configuration rather than having it hanging off with bombs and all the bits and pieces. I just love the clean lines and the look to it as is without messing around with all the other bits and pieces. So I don't know, I'm probably going to do them and then we'll look at fitting them if we think it needs it. So we'll weather those up and take care of that as well. But generally, I must admit, it's coming together really nicely, very speedy now. But as I said, today I'm going to spend all morning solely working on this now. I'm going to probably work until around about 2ish. I'll do the orders then when I come back from the orders, obviously I'll put together the last part of the show where we're going to have a look at your work, which is something we need to speak about. Probably won't be able to go around the gallery because obviously all the software and the capture card and everything is currently lying in a pile over there because it's not fitted to any system yet. What I'm going to do is Scan Computers have acknowledged they've got it. That's as far as we've got. They had it yesterday and I was told it had then gone off to be fixed and all the rest of it. I'm going to phone them at 10 o'clock this morning and find out exactly what's going on with it. Now, if they're telling me, oh, it's going to be till next week, I'm going to cancel the order. A lot of you got in contact with me. Thank you much to Merrick. He phoned me up. But loads of you have sent me emails about the legal position and our rights and the various bits and pieces. And all of you have pointed out quite correctly is that you've only got 30 days. After 30 days, they've got various get out clauses and that. But until 30 days, we can send it back and just get a refund on the entire thing. 30 days is Tuesday because we've had so much trouble with this over the last few weeks. Obviously, I didn't even touch the computer for 5 days because we had the geek meet, so it sat here in a box doing nothing. So, you know, various things like that. So what I need to do is find out to them when it's going to be back. If it's not back by, you know, technically Monday, because it has to be here Monday and I'll just do thorough testing on Monday and make sure it's okay, then I'll cancel it. So what I'll do then, if they're saying it's not going to be back till Tuesday, Wednesday, whenever, then I'm going to cancel it and we'll go elsewhere. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that capture card, all the bits and pieces back into the old PC. We'll bring that down and go back to how we were until I can sort a new one out. Very disappointing. Really pissed off about the entire thing, but really my hands are tied because, as you said, it's best part of £2,000 tied up in nowhere at the moment. I've got a £2,000 paperweight. Well, I haven't even got that now because it's not even here. Okay, so I need to sort out something. We need to get it in. Thank you for everybody who's been in contact about it. I have been absolutely inundated by obviously your people that have obviously given me guys who built their computers, companies who built their computers. You guys have had the same troubles as me, various things and ideas and stuff like that. From my point of view, if it wasn't in warranty, then I'll probably pull it apart and do it myself. But the thing is, it is so it's up to them to do it. So that's really what I'm doing, is waiting for them to sort it out and fix it, or get a refund on it, whichever way. For the guys talking about Macs and stuff like that, yeah, but don't forget I'm a gamer and I can't afford to have 2-3 PCs lying around doing this type of thing. So that's why I go for a PC route. You know, it's all very well if you can afford to have a Mac system and a high-end PC. I can't, so it's as simple as that. So that's why I go PC. Don't get me wrong, I'm nothing against Mac. As we all know, we've got 2 iPads in this house, 3 iPhones, and Liam's got an iWatch as well coming. So, you know, from that point of view, we are very much down the Apple tree, but quite frankly, for a PC type of thing, it's no good to me, you know. Oh, and a netbook. Got a MacBook as well. Liam's got a MacBook. So yeah, I know a lot of you were saying, forget all the PC, go and get it, but I can't afford to do both, so from that point of view, we're sort of stuck into one high-end system, one low-end, and that's what we've been doing over the last few years. If you've noticed, we've been in a situation where we've had one computer, then we've had another one, okay? Then the other one becomes the secondary computer, and that's what I've been doing all the way as we've been moving along since we've been doing this for the last 10 years properly, and that's how we've always worked it. And to be honest, it's always worked really well until now. Now we've had a stumbling block, problems we've had with it. But to be honest, as I said before, this happened on the old computer. If you guys who remember, 3 years ago it was when we had the new computer, it was the same thing. If you remember, it got delivered and it never worked. So it's like, great, brilliant. Perhaps I will build my own next time, and that way I've only got myself to blame. But in some ways it's easier just to give it to somebody else. They do it, it turns out it delivered, you plug it in and it works, and it saves me playing with these things, and if there is any problems, then trying to source problems and get things fixed, find out what it is. I put my trust into another company, which sometimes works, other times like today doesn't. Anyway, so for me, I'm going to push on with this today, going to get the filming done, and as I say, hopefully by lunchtime we'll have this thing on its gear, we'll have it up, we'll have the engine installed, we'll have the gun detailed, the entire gun area detailed, everything else like that, the canopy removed, the proper canopy can be put on, and we can have a good look to see exactly how it's going and everything else like that. So hopefully by lunchtime we'll have something looking really good. Hello, welcome back to what are we now, 20 to 1, here we are on Friday. Right, okay, I've done quite a bit today. I'll show you the first bit here, and I'll take you for a walk around. As you can probably see just down here, we have the 190. Looking very much the part. Now, to be honest, I had to modify the engine to get that to fit in, purely because it just didn't like it. It wasn't going to go in particularly well, and I had all types of fit issues lining up everything to get in there, and even the guns just lying in there correctly and at the proper angle and everything else like that. So what we've done is we've cut these right back, and I've repositioned them and jigged them, all 4 mounting things for the engine going in at the front. Now we've done that, it's dropped back, everything, the exhausts are all in the correct positions all the way around, the guns line up, and the actual engine fits in, because before you couldn't even get the props on because they wouldn't go in. Literally, it was off center and it wouldn't fit, but we've actually got that now. That is in there, and as you can see, very much looking the part. So very happy with how it's going. So I'll just take that off. The other thing as well, we started putting some little bits and pieces underneath. So you might see we've got one flap underneath there. We've got the aerial loop. The gear is on. We absolutely love this bronze gear. I would highly recommend anybody getting the bronze gear, because it just absolutely is solid, and I mean proper solid. Well, you can see it under there, but it is absolutely solid, no problem at all. I've got no worries about it, and let's face it, it is the thing with the 190, when you see it like this, you think it's about to fall over and it's about to break and everything else, but this is, that's me wiggling it, absolutely solid, no problem with that at all. So I'm very happy with that, coming along absolutely fantastic. So a couple of other things. What we're going to do over the weekend is completely pull the studio apart, okay? So my point for that is, what we are planning on doing is this area here, which traditionally has almost been that sort of leftover spot. I used to game upstairs, to be honest, and all the rest of it, but it's a bit of a man cave down here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this completely apart. I'm probably going to take the unit doors off down there and probably put the computer tower in there. Okay, I'm going to bring down the one from upstairs, and then we're going to have the monitor set up down a little bit further and everything else like that. And this will be our sort of gaming slash editing slash doing all the computer bits all in this area. I'm going to lose the chairs. The 4 chairs will go out. That'll make us a bit more space and everything like that. So that's the plan with that one. Then obviously we've got various things, kits, all the sci-fi stuff down there, more kits all down here, and all the kits along there. So what I'm actually going to do with that lot, again, I'm going to take it all down because we're going to clean in there all the bits and pieces. I'm going to have a rearrange upstairs in the office stroke stock room, and we're going to rip that apart, and a lot of that is going to go up there. So we're going to be left with just a few of my favourite kits, maybe the stuff I'm going to be building, things like that, but generally clear room. The same thing is going to go down for this area, which is tend to be all the kit reviews. That's what's waiting for reviews and bits and pieces all down there. Okay, same thing is I'm going to take the display cabinets all apart, and we're going to go down and dust all of those because, as you can probably see in there, bit dusty to say the least. So we're going to take care of all of that. All of these we're going to find homes for properly. The drawers I'm going to go through and take care of it because we've got things like small tools, as you see down here. We've got all the Rosie the Riveter stuff, bits and pieces. That all needs to be sorted, cleaned, put right. The big thing, to be honest, is the spray boo, which is just the time thing. As you can see, I just don't have the time to sort of clean up as I go, and I end up with this type of thing, and it's terrible and horrible and all the bits and pieces like that. And obviously as we're coming to an end with all of this down here and with the actual 190 stuff like that, a lot of it all can be put away and we can find proper homes for it. The last thing we're going to do is take the all the paints off of the rack, off the paint rack, and we're going to clean them all, and I'm going to have a reshuffle because, to be honest, you know, I'm not using many of them. That's the whole point. I tend to be using stuff from other areas. So what I'm going to do is have a little bit of a fiddle around up there, and I might just take like the metallizers off and keep them in a separate area, bits and pieces, because let's face it, it's not supposed to be there for show and as a fancy backdrop for the camera angle, because technically you can't see it anyway. It's supposed to be there for practicality of finding paint, but it's just such a mishmash up there of bits and pieces that technically we can get rid of, to be honest, the Tallery ones. I only use them occasionally. I think I've used them twice, and various things, but I've got other paints, got the big paints coming from Mr. Paint, stuff like that. They can take up a bit more pride of place down there. And then obviously just across the desk, we just need to sort everything out because we've got a mishmash of everything and bits and pieces. And like all good studios, we have hidden areas under here. We've got all various stuff down here, like the nipper, supposed to be out in the garage and all the rest of it. Even right the way down to my famous overflowing bins that I have down here. As you can see, it all needs to be sorted out, put right, cleaned up, and everything else like that. What this does mean though, sorry, looking at the ceiling, I haven't really got time to do the look around the forum. I'd love to do it. It's one of my favourite things, so looking at your work. But because I haven't got the other computer down here, I've got to put the capture card into it, which I'm going to do, and everything else like that. So once we've got that sorted, obviously we can have a look next week. So unfortunately we're not going to have a look round, but I obviously will do your gallery work and your bits and pieces and everything else like that at the end of the show. So there we go. It's now coming up for 1 o'clock. I'm now going to do all your orders, get them sorted, all the bits and pieces like that. Hopefully that'll give me another hour playing down here before we have to do the show, which gives me a little bit more time because I can't go around the forum and all the rest of it. But I do want to get the gear properly fitted in, weathered into it, get the flaps onto this today, and I want to get the gun area and obviously the engine wired up and all the bits and pieces just like that. So there we go. A fun old day. Okay, so quite a busy day, to be honest, sorting out more computer issues and bits and pieces like that. So I haven't actually got on as much as I'd have liked to. I really wanted to get the wiring in there and everything else like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm literally going to move this all safely, probably to the office upstairs for the minute. And then we're going to absolutely strip the hell out of the studio. What I'll do is I'll take a load of, well, I'll do it as a vlog if you like, and you can see exactly what I'm going to do in here and my ideas for it and everything else like that. But it's just a mess. It's one of those things, because everything going sort of wrong this week and everything else, it really bugs me that I don't have the space to just be able to move things around and everything else like that. So what I'm going to do is literally pull this entire place apart, going to give it a real deep clean, as I said, go right the way through it and everything else, and then Monday come back in and then really push on with this guy and get this one finished off probably in a day if I manage to get on with it nicely. I think it's what we need really, just a bit of a deep clean, fresh start with everything, and we'll be good to go. As for the computers, as we sit here really at 4:30, haven't heard a thing. We're just assuming they're doing their bit. I know a lot of you are going to be asking me about it. As I say, I'm just literally going to forget about it. I am going to bring the other computer down. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to have a look around the forum today, purely because, as I say, the capture card, the bit that does all the image and everything else like that, isn't in the system. But as I said, I am going to bring the other computer down when I've cleared that area completely out of the way, and then I'm going to bring it down, I'm going to put the capture card in it and all the bits and pieces. So from, at least from a work point of view of doing live streaming and all the bits and pieces, we've got all the gear we know that works. If it comes back and it works, happy days. If it doesn't, I'm not going to lose any sleep over it, because to be honest, I probably won't even bring it down here for a bit until I trust it totally. We'll keep it upstairs and use it as a backup for the minute and everything else like that. So anyway, that is about it for me this week. Apologies if I'm boring you to death about computer issues and all stuff like that, but it's just me on a rant, and trust me, I've actually done 3 other videos today of me on a rant, and I thought, no, honestly, it's not worth it. So I've had to sort of reshoot this a little bit and rejig it. But anyway, I'm going to leave you with your great work from the actual gallery of your completed models this week. Some stunning ones up there as usual. So until Monday, everybody, happy modelling and take care.
Calling you over, my head on your shoulder. Familiar faces prolong the embraces. We were always one for the breakaway, but we're nearing chances to wake the day.